attracts me to the Honors College is, first of all, the amazing students that are there, because what I've found every time I teach a class in the Honors College is that Honors College students are deeply engaged and really care about their studies, but are also willing to experiment and try new things and be creative. And so for me, the classroom, that's what excites me about being a teacher, is not about conveying knowledge so much as being involved in a creative process with my students. And so that's what I've found has always happened in the Honors College. And that's really what draws me to want to teach more in the Honors College, to be able to be more experimental and to be able to, in this valuable time after the pandemic, as we're emerging from the pandemic, to really have one another in our classrooms be a resource for emerging from this time in a way where we can start to repair some of what has been really disrupted in this time of social distancing. Scheduled to teach are, one is called social movements, and the other one is called music and politics. Well, music and politics is a class that really traces the trajectory of popular music in the United States and then expands into more global issues. But it starts with the question of pop, really. It starts with the question of popular music and what is pop, and what does it express really about cultural universality and also inclusion and exclusion. And so I talk about, we study that in the context of the United States, and really thinking about how African-American music and the African-American tradition plays in and has been appropriated really in the pop music traditions of the United States. And what does that dynamic of appropriation mean in terms of how we can understand the politics of our own even tastes and enjoyment in music. If you think about the demographics of people listening to hip hop, for example, and thinking about what are the politics of that, right? What are the politics of the fact that a huge demographic of people who listen to hip hop are young white men, So we try to trace the history of that, the history of our enjoyment, even to understand that it too has political implications. So, even as we listen to a lot of music and we trace it, through like early pop music, the blues, 1960s, all of that history up through, classic hip hop and to the contemporary moment. But we do that, where everybody gets to kind of think about their own interests in that, and then also politicizing them, decentering oneself and one's enjoyment in that. One of the many things I'm looking forward to is this other class that I'm teaching, which is called social movements, which is, the word social movements, we often think of, like a movement like Black Lives Matter, for example. It's like a social political movement. And that's going to be part of what we inquire into, but it's also about movement, as in the politics of embodied somatic movement. And how do we think these two things together to understand what embodied social change is. And so I'm excited about that class also, because I'm hoping that we're going to actually get to do a lot of movement. That's another part of my practice is somatic work, somatic education, and actual like movement, like moving our bodies. And so I'm excited to hopefully be teaching that class in a space where we're going to get to do some movement.